What is up, everybody? It is me. It is me. You already know who it is. And I don't know what I'm saying. Please forgive me. But ignore everything I just said. It is me. I'm thinking about changing my name to Golden Deku. So that's gonna be a thing. And also, it's either that or Silver Deku. Yeah, I'm gonna change my name to Silver Deku. Never mind. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And also, today's video will be what if Deku had magic. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, comment down below. And as I said before, I will be trying to post more and more videos. But anyway, yeah, let's hop right into it. So, Deku would grow up just as he did in the anime, until the point of the age of 10. So, Izuku would be at the park, walking home, feeling sad because he just got bullied by Bakugo again. He'd be wondering what life would be if he wasn't, if he had a quirk, if he had some type of power to protect people. And then all of a sudden, a glowing circle comes up underneath him. He gets scared, thinking this is somebody trying to attack him. He tries to run, but the circle keeps on following him. Until the circle glows, shines brighter than ever, and then all of a sudden Deku gets knocked out. 3 hours later, Izuku wakes up in a bed, wondering where he is. He gets up to explore, just to find out he's in a giant castle on the top of the mountain. Then he's accidentally bumped into a man. The man would say, "Oh, hello there, I see you awake now." Deku would say, where am I?" The man would say, "Welcome to the world. This is a different world from yours. This is this is my castle. And I'm going to be teaching you magic." Deku would say, "Why?" "Because I need to have somebody to pass on my teachings to, or how do I say this? See, wizards, when they die, when some people die, they must first fulfill their wishes. And if this wish is not fulfilled, you will be lost and cursed throughout time and space, seeing things you don't want to see, meeting people you don't want to meet over and over again. And that is not something I want. And nobody on my earth is strong enough for me to teach all of my magic to. So which is why I pinpointed somebody who was throughout the multiverse. And it seems you came along, little boy." Izuku would say, "Okay, but can I please go back home?" The man would say, "Yeah, you can, but first, for 4 years, I will teach you all of my magic." So in the next 4 years, it took some time for Deku to get used to the man, having the man train him and teach him. And during this time, Inko was looking for Deku everywhere, all over the place, after basically, you know what I'm saying, just basically on a hunt. So Deku would be, I keep on getting my words mixed up. Deku would be about 12 by now, as he would already have learned half of his master's teachings. That being the simple magic like elemental magic, transformation magic, beast magic, and a few other magics. Deku would say, "All right, now there, master. Can I get something to hold on my power to? Because remember last time what happened when I was trying to condense it, but it kind of blew up in my face. So I'm going to need something to hold it." The man would say, "Well, of course. I have plenty of those back there." As then Deku would see a sword. He'd pick it up. He'd say, "Huh, this sword. I can feel something coming from it." As then the sword would talk, saying, "Of course you can." Deku would drop the sword, stepping back, saying, "Wait, what?" the man will laugh. No, the old man would laugh, saying, "Oh, don't worry about him. That's just Loch Ness. He's a magical enchanted sword. Also, the most second strongest sword in all of the world. The most second strongest. Where's the first?" Deku would ask. The man would say, "Oh, it's called Excalibur. You have to be worthy to pick it up, and I guess you could try to pick it up, but nobody has tried in many of years. You have to be worthy." Deku would say, "Huh, yeah, I'd like to try Excalibur." The Loch Ness would say, "Yeah, what about me?" Deku would say, "If I can't pick up Excalibur, I guess I can get you. I guess I'll use you." Loch Ness says, "No fair." So, Deku and the wizard travel across the world to find the stone of Excalibur. It's then got to the point where many of men, the strongest of the land and the most noblest of the land, would try to pick up the sword, but none of it worked. Deku said, "Let me give it a try." As many of the royals, nobles, and strongest of the men would laugh at Deku, saying, "Do you really think you could pick up that sword, kid? For thousands of years we tried. For thousands of years, I tell you. And not even once has anybody been able to even so much as move the sword." And all of a sudden, everybody see the golden sword. Everybody see the shining bright sword in Izuku's hands. Izuku says, "This thing's heavy, or because if you guys can pick it up, I must be 10 times stronger than you." The old man would say, "Remember what I told you. You have to be worthy to pick up the sword, Deku. It doesn't matter how strong you are." Deku would say, "Oh yeah." The man, a noble, one of the royals would come up to Deku saying, um, "Hello there, but you're on my property, therefore that sword belongs to me. I would like you to hand it over, please." Deku would say, "Oh, okay, here, sure." As soon as the man would touch the sword, his hand would go flying back, as nobody could touch the sword if they were not worthy. The man would scream at Deku, saying, "What did you do? Some type of magic? I demand that you drop the sword this instant." So Izuku put the sword back in the ground. Deku would say, "Fine then, you grab it." The man would try to lift it up, but it wouldn't work. No matter how much he tried, how much he struggled, it wouldn't work. Then all of a sudden, the stone in it starts to glow. As then, it flew towards Deku's hand. Deku would say, "Huh, that's pretty neat." The old wizard would say, "All right, Deku, let's head back to the castle now." As many people would try to talk Deku into giving them the sword, but they would give up shortly after they tried to take it from him. So Deku is back at the castle. And then all of a sudden, Deku hears a yawning coming from his back. And then he hears somebody says, "Has somebody picked me up yet? It's been kind of lonely by myself." Deku would say, "What? Who said that? Who said that?" The sword would say, "Me, of course, you dolts." As then he look on his back to see Excalibur is talking. And then all of a sudden, Excalibur jumps out of his hand and transforms into a girl. She would say, "Ah." Anyway, she would say, "So you're my new master, huh? You don't seem pretty. You don't seem worthy enough. What'd you do? How'd you get me out? Did you use some type of weird high spell magic or something?" Deku would say, "No, I just picked you up out of the ground." The girl would say, Excalibur would say, "I don't believe you." And then she'd say, "Huh, why do I feel my dumb brother somewhere nearby?" You would say, "Wait." Deku would say, "Who's your brother? And swords can have brothers?" The girl would say, "I wasn't always a sword. I became this way." I don't want to explain it, but I wasn't, well, actually, no, forget that. She says, I was always a sword, yes, and I was created alongside a set, I guess you could say a different sword. The sword name would be Loch Ness. Its power is only second to mine, though. Deck will say, oh, that thing, it's in the castle. Excalibur would smile with a big, grinny smile on her face as then Excalibur would rush to the castle before Deku and the wizard. And as Loch Ness could feel something coming towards him. And he got scared, shook even. This is where he transformed into his human form and hid in a box. Then all of a sudden, the door comes crashing open. As you would hear a girly voice screaming, Loch Ness! As then all of a sudden, Loch Ness would say, no. As then his box had opened. And then all you see is his big, beat red eyes and this grinny smile on his sister's face. Loch Ness would say, I'm screwed. As then all of a sudden, she'd pick him up out of the box and throw him into the wall. Asking, you think it was funny to pick me up and leave me somewhere in the middle of the night while I was sleeping? Loch Ness will say, oh, I'm sorry about that. It's just, you were kind of being weird that day, you know? And you were kind of getting on my nerves, so I had no other choice but to leave you. And you're kind of slowing me down, and yeah. So, and wait, then he just paused for a second, realizing something. Wait a minute, that kid was actually able to get you out of the stone? The girl would say, well, of course. I mean, well, yeah, I don't believe it myself, but oh well. Loch Ness would then say, huh, I guess he's worthy of our power. The two strongest swords in the world. Deku would then walk in and saying, so you two are really the two strongest swords in the world, and why do you have human forms? Okay, let me explain to you, kid. As the Loch Ness would say. Loch Ness would then go on to say, there, 1,000 years ago, there were two pairs of humans. That of the weapon race. The weapons race, I guess you could say, were born alongside the humans as to help them in battle. The weapon race was stronger than any normal near sword. They could transform into anything that the user desires or wished for. Basically what the user imagination let it turn into. And, well, let's just say that when a human and a sword fully bonds together, they have become permanent. They will become connected permanently. What you and Excalibur have is a temporary bond. You two has not formed a contract, nor have I and you. So now the contract has to be made. But you see, the deal is, no human has ever been able to wield two weapons at the same time, because it'll take immense toll on the body and could probably kill you. So I wouldn't suggest trying to have both me and Excalibur at the same time. Deku would turn to Excalibur as he'd see her sleeping, passed out on the floor, with a snot bubble coming out of her nose. Deku would say, she's not the brightest, is she? Loch Ness would then say, please tell me about it. But anyway, back to my explanation. So, 100 years ago, most of our clan were wiped out by humans, the people we trusted the most, because they deemed we would become more powerful than them and we was overpopulating too much. So they decided to wipe out our entire clan and race. Yada yada, the stones are set in the cards. Me and Excalibur basically are like the last five, last two of the five that are still alive. I don't know where the other three are, but I wouldn't go suggest looking for them. But anyway, yeah, Merlin would say. Then the old man would say. Actually, yeah, I forgot everybody. I was finna tell you the old man's name when Izuku left, because Izuku was finna ask him his name. But since I already accidentally said it, the old man's name would be Merlin. Merlin would then walk in the room saying, "Yes, this is correct, Izuku. Humans have done terrible things over these many years, but now these days, the swords will only pick you if they see you have a pure heart. And it seems, Izuku, you have the purest of a heart. You have purest of heart." Izuku would say, "Yeah, when I leave here, I'm going to become the greatest hero ever." Izuku would then go on to say, But anyway, so, which one of you should I form a contract with? Excalibur would say, me. Loch Ness would say, "No, don't pick her. She's dumb as rocks. Pick me." Deku said, "Fine, I'm going to pick the both of you." Then Loch Ness would say, "Kid, didn't you hear me? Didn't I just tell you that if you tried to sign a contract with the two of us, then there would be catastrophic damage to your bot?" "Done," Izuku would say, as without them knowing, he'd shut him up and sign the contract. Of course, his head would start to hurt, his stomach would start to hurt a little bit, but then it stopped. As now, Loch Ness and both Excalibur had a permanent bond. Loch Ness' jaw dropped, saying, "What? Wait, what? You're the first human in like, no, matter of fact, you're not even the first human in like many years. You're the first human, period, that has ever been able to hold two humanoid weapons before. Kid, what are you?" Izuku would then go on to explain his life story. The Loch Ness would come to a conclusion. The humans of your realm must have way more magic potential than the humans of our realm. Therefore, your body will not be affected by our laws. Basically, Izuku was going to say, "Yeah, that's probably it," but right now, I don't know. So then Izuku would hold Loch Ness and both Excalibur, turning them back into weapons. Now, Izuku used his imagination as he was turning their sword-like forms into different things entirely. Deku would say, these could be useful, as he created them into twin katanas. Excalibur and Loch Ness would ask, "Wait, and also, Izuku, there is one more thing you have to do for us." Izuku would say, "Yeah?" Loch Ness is then going to say, "You also have to rename us. Such is our purpose." Izuku would say, "Fine, I guess I could rename you. Let's see. For Excalibur, I guess I could call you Ellie." Excalibur wouldn't be paying no attention, as she would be distracted all the time, basically. Loch Ness would smack his forehead, saying, "Would you pay attention, please?" Excalibur would say, as she'd say, "Alright, my name is Ellie. Now, leave me alone." As she'd do what she was doing before. Loch Ness would get irritated by that. So then Izuku would go on to name Loch Ness Micah. "No, I think you deserve a better name." Loch Ness would say, "No, you're not naming me Micah." Izuku would say, I can't think of a name. How about, I can't think of a name. Hold on, you guys, I'll be right back. Deku would say, Oh, sorry, guys. Deku would then want to say, fine. Excalibur name will be Ellie, and Loch Ness name will be Milo. Loch Ness will say, I guess I could accept that. And anyway, let me explain to you how this works. A, we could always walk beside you. B, we could be sent to, I don't know, we can go exploring and do whatever we want. And when you need us, we'll just summon right in your hands. Izuku would say, that's pretty useful. Lochner would also say, and we could sit in this empty space, avoid a point of time until you need us. Although that's kind of boring, and I really don't want to do that. Izuku would then go on to say, alright. So, Izuku walked us to say, Milo would go on to say, well, kid, I'm feeling sleepy, so I'm finna stay in my sword form for a while. I'll be talking to you later. Ellie would then go on to say the same thing. They would both fall asleep for now about another couple of years. As a while for swords would be a couple of years for Izuku. So 2 years passed. Izuku is now 14. Izuku says, well, Merlin, it's been a long time and I can't wait to go home and see my family. But before I go, thank you for teaching me magic. And Merlin says, no, it was my pleasure. And now I can go in peace. And also, Deku, remember what I told you? Never ever use it. Deku would say, alright, Merlin, I'll never use it. No matter what. Deku would then go on to say, alright, Merlin, I'll see you later. Well, not later, but I'll see you in the next life. As Izuku would then jump in the portal. Standing where he was a couple of years ago. Side of the street. Now there was 2 kids walking down the street. One with yellow and red hair. One with yellowish hair, yellow and golden hair with red eyes. Now this kid walks up to Deku saying, "Hey, pretty neat quirk you got there. Where you from? Ever seen you around here before?" Deku would squint really closely. He'd say, Kanchan? Bakugo would then want to say, wait a minute. You look like Deku? How have you been these past 4 years? I thought you got kidnapped or taken away or something like that. Deku would then go say, nah, I didn't do it. I didn't get kidnapped. I went willingly. Well, didn't go willingly per se. I accepted what had happened to me. Bakugo would give Deku a dumb look saying, for a nerd, you sure are stupid. But anyway, where the hell have you been? Your mom was out. Your mom went crazy looking for you. Not literally, but she would go around posting pictures of you, basically everywhere, even on the other side of the city. It doesn't matter. Heck, she even go out to go post pictures of you on the border. Deku would say, really? She did all of that? It wasn't really necessary. I mean, I shouldn't have left, but still, that shouldn't be really that necessary. If I was her, I would have gave up after a year. Kanchan would say, she did give up eventually, but 2 years later. Izuku would say, she gave up 2 years ago? I guess that's good. It'd probably be stressful for her, knowing I've been gone for so long. Bakugo would go on to say, of course. She was stressed so much, she didn't even come outside. She stayed at home all day eating, getting shorter and getting fatter. Izuku would say, wait, what? Izuku would ask Bakugo, hey, Bakugo, do I still live where I live? Bakugo would say, well, yeah, of course you do, but I mean, yeah, of course you do. Your mom never really had the guts to leave. In fact, I was just over at your house the other day. But um my mama went over there to try to get Inko out of the house for a little bit, and it didn't really work. Deku would say, huh, really? That's cool. But anyway, I'm gonna head back to my house. Well, he would say, alright, nerd, see you. Huh. Where the hell has he been? He'd think in his head. Deku would knock on the door. All of a sudden, a depressed old lady would walk out of the door, would open up the door saying, hello. She looked up to see green and black hair, the same color eyes as hers, with freckles all over his face. She thinks she was just hallucinating again because she has those hallucinations from times to times. And then she hear the word, Mom? Inka would open up her eyes so big and wide and realizing that this was really Izuku this time and not just another hallucination of him. Sure, he was wearing weird clothes, but it's still Izuku. Izuku was gonna say, hey, Mom. As he get dragged down for a hug with tears running down his back as Inka was crying. Deku would pat on her back saying, I'm sorry I left you for so long. I know I should have came back and visit from time to time, but I just had some things to do. Eiko would say, things more important than your family? What is wrong with you, boy? Why would you leave? And basically, Deku felt she had the right to know because that is his mother-in-law. So he did tell her about everything, from his swords to the wizard, basically from everybody's point of view. Inko couldn't believe it at first, but then she saw Izuku using different types of quirks, which we know as magic. First he was holding fire, then he was holding earth, then he was holding water, then he was able to shoot blasts of air, and then he turned his hand into that of a dragon scale. So that when Inka realized she was telling the truth, plus the weird clothes, she thought, he must have been in one of like the anime worlds. Izuku would say, yeah, it's pretty much like an anime world. It's just way more cooler. I got to ride a dragon. Heck, I even got to have a dragon as a pet. But sadly, he couldn't come with me. Anyway, Inko was then going to say, anyway, Izuku, how old are you now? Well, Mom, you should know that. But I'm 14 now, and I feel I'm ready to go back to school. Inko would say, well, you only have a month of school left, and your birthday's in 3 months, so... Izuku would go on to say, yeah, Mom, alright. Izuku would then go upstairs to see his room, the exact same as it was. Nothing has changed. No, there's no dust, not even a speck of it in his room. It's cleaner than it was when he left. Inko would then go on to say, I couldn't bear moving your stuff out of the room, so I left it the exact same how it was when you left. Izuku would then go on to laugh, saying, yeah, Mom, thanks for that. But he then opens his door saying, I'm going to need some bigger clothes. Inko would then go on to say, you can borrow some of your dad's older clothes. As he'd give Izuku a t-shirt and some shorts. Then the days would pass by, Izuku getting enrolled back into school, and as soon as he got to school, Bakugo said, what's up, Izuku? What's up, Deku? It's gonna be fun picking on you like I did back in the olden days, as him and his goons would laugh. Deku would say, Bakugo, I think you're gonna find it's gonna be much harder for you to pick on me now. As he'd get a serious look. Bakugo would say, look, grow some balls on them, You think just because you go away for a couple of years, you think you can stand up to me? You're still a quirkless nerd, Deku. And don't forget it. Izuku would go on to say, If you think I'm quirkless, you're wrong. Bakugo say, huh? You have a quirk? Huh, you're bluffing. Show it to me then. Izuku would change his eyes as he changed it in the blood red with the slits going down the middle of them. As then Izuku's tooth would grow, as Izuku's teeth would change, they'd become less square and more sharpened. Izuku's claw would change. Izuku's hand would change into that of claws. Izuku was growing and spread out wings out of his back, and eventually was getting bigger and bigger until he was about the size of, I don't know, not a building, but I guess you could say basically about the size of a baby dragon, because he didn't want to attract any attention. Deku would look down, sniffing on Bakugo, saying, "Who are you calling quirkless?" As Deku would roar so loud in Bakugo's face. Bakugo couldn't believe what he was seeing. Deku just turned into a dragon. He got scared for a minute. Bakugo saying, "No. Deku, when did you get a quirk?" Izuku was gonna say, "I'm just a late bloomer." As he changed back, and he told Bakugo, "You better stop messing with me before you really get hurt." So Bakugo had tried to bully Deku some more, and then Deku just put him in his place. Eventually, Bakugo's goons just stopped hanging around him. Basically, Bakugo was losing everything. So, I know this is going to be a big time skip in all of this, but Izuku, it's not the end of the day for Izuku. The teacher had just announced that Izuku wants to go to UA in front of everybody. Nobody laughed. Bakugo didn't give his big speech about how he's going to be the best. And he didn't expose Deku's book. So after the day, Izuku walked home. Realizing he was late, he decided to take a shortcut. He'd be walking down the tunnel, and then all of a sudden, something would try to attack him, but Deku was a shield. As a shield would come around him, burning the sludge. The sludge would quickly get back, saying, "Pretty useful quirk you got there, kid. How strong is your shield?" Izuku would say, "I don't know. Strong enough to hold you." Izuku would say, "Shield." As a shield would come around, so basically a force field would come around the sludge villain. The sludge villain would then say, "Crap!" And then all of a sudden, the force field got smaller, until it turned into a little ball with the sludge trying to get out. Let's just say, no, it was about the shape of a basketball, with the sludge trying to get out of it. Izuku was then going to say, "Sorry, but you're not getting out of here. You're not getting out of here." Izuku would say, "Smash!" As then he smashed the shield and sending the sludge villain flying across the wall. Izuku would then go to walk off. All Might had jumped down and said, "Don't worry, I am here." Wait, what? As he'd see the sludge villain everywhere, and he'd see a foot walk behind the corner. Then All Might would say, he must have did this. I should go thank him. But first, I need to get this sludge villain before he slips out of my grasp." Izuku turned the corner when nobody was looking. He jumped off because he decided walking was taking too long. So he jumped off. Izuku had got home, telling his mom telling his mom about his day, and then we go into the 10 months of training. So All Might decided to give Muriel one for all, and no, let's just say during this, the sludge drilling attack on Bakugo did happen, except for During the whole thing, Bakugo kept a cool head, knew what he was doing, and got himself out of the sludge villain this time. All Might saw this and was impressed by Bakugo as he destroyed the sludge villain, and he said, hello there, young man." As he explained the thing of one for all and how it works, Bakugo instantly accepted, saying, "This could finally be my chance." In his head, he said, "This could finally be my chance to defeat Deku." Izuku within. Now, 10 months of training comes. Bakugo training for one for all. His body, getting stronger, trying to learn how to control one for all. Deku sitting around doing nothing all day, sleeping. And then all of a sudden, he hears a voice. "Oh, Izuku, how's it been?" Izuku was then going to say, "Ellie?" She'd say, "Yeah, it's me, but what have you been doing all this time? Where are we?" Izuku would then going to say, "Welcome to my world." As if smoke would pop up, and she pops out of it. She look outside, and her eyes would get so big and widen. She screamed so loud that Izuku had to shut her up, saying, "Shh, my mom's downstairs sleeping. Be quiet." Ellie would go on and say, "Can we go out? Can we go out? Can we go out? Can we go out?" Izuku would say, "No." She'd say, "Please." As then Izuku would cave in and let her go. And basically take her outside. They went shopping for a couple of things. Him teaching her basically like the gist of the world and how this place works. And all of this. All that. Deku then going to tell Ellie to be quiet and duck down. As then they see in the back of an alley. They see two shady men. Actually, no. They see a shady girl with blood coming from her mouth as she'd be standing over her body. She'd say, "That's what you get for trying to touch me, you creep. And your blood's disgusting." Pugh. As Izuku would see this say, I should probably stop her. But I don't want to go around attracting attention to myself. So I should deal with her later." As then he'd walk back. Ellie, on the other hand, would say, "Hey, what are you doing back there?" This girl would say, "Wait, what? Who are you?" Deku would smack his forehead, saying, Did you hear me say not to deal with it?" The girl would see Deku as her eyes would widen up, and she'd feel something in her heart. She had smiled creepily at Deku. Deku said, "What? Hello there?" As she tried to stab him. Deku said, "Whoa there," as he used dragon scales to protect his stomach. Deku said, "Whoa there. If I were you, I'd cut it out," as he'd punch her. Not punch her just so much as grab her from the back of the collar. Izuku says, "You're coming with me to the police station." This girl would then unknowingly get out of her shirt and then rush off. Izuku tried to chase her, but she ended up ducking in the shadows. Izuku says, "That girl was weird and kind of creepy." Ellie would go on to say, what a weirdo. I can't believe she'd go around killing random people like that. But this guy does look like a creep." Deku would say, "It doesn't matter. Killing people is wrong, no matter what they look like." But basically, they finish the little rest of like the eating and stuff. Deku basically showing her around the world. As then, the 10-month train would come. As I said before, Deku would try to practice a bit on his magic, but he decided not to, as, this is a new world and people here won't be as strong as the other world. So he decided to relax, and he probably knows there's nobody on this planet that could probably take him. So, basically, Izuku is now walking towards the UA. Ellie decided to go back to sleep for about a week, and now it's time for UA. Izuku walks in, not feeling nervous at all. He walks in really cocky, but doing so, he trips over a rock. He is caught by Uraraka, of course. That same encounter goes, except for him being less nervous. Izuku then goes into the rent exam room. As he'd sit down, as he'd hear the teacher explain. Ida will still yell at President Mike for getting the papers wrong, and then claiming that UA isn't as what he thought it was. And then basically being a stick in the mud. So Deku would pass the rent exam, getting half the points, basically barely passing it because he's really only good for fighting, in a sense. Of course, when it came to the battle, like what he should do during a hero, when he's trying to save someone, he got that down perfectly. Now it is time for the entrance exam. Izuku is standing waiting for President Mike to say go. All of a sudden, he is tapped on the shoulder. Then all of a sudden, he sees a red and yellow hair girl, with her hair being red, going up, her hair being red, and then the tips of her hair being yellow. He's going to say, "Hey, who are you? What do you want?" The girl would say, "Are you Izuku?" The girl would then going to say, "Of course I am." She whispered in his ear, "I'm from the other world." As then she'd walk off. Izuku tried to chase her, but he got stopped by Ida. Izuku wanted to know what she meant by the other world, even though he clearly knew. And who she was, he wanted to find out for himself. Ida stopped him though and said, "You're trying to distract that young girl." Izuku would then go to say, "I'm not. Ida would then go on to say, "No, nonsense. Get back in line and wait." Izuku would then go on to say, "Damn stick in the mud," as he'd wait in line. President Mike would say, "Go, go. There is no real countdown in a real battle." As Izuku would then walk into the stadium, walk into the engine, he'd say, "This should be over within a couple of minutes." As then all of a sudden things from the back of his shirt started to spread out, ripping off his shirt to reveal he had wings on. Izuku would then fly off. He'd say, "Electric Dragon, crackling roar," as he'd roar out loud with electricity coming out of his mouth, killing about 5 3-pointers. Izuku would then go on to say, "Harden," as his fist would turn into a dragon's hand, punching through 2-pointer robots. Through 2-pointer robots. Izuku would then go on to say, "This is so easy. This is boring as well." Izuku would then go on to say, "Water, giant crackling typhoon," as a pool of water with electricity coming behind it shocked all of the robots. Not all of them, but some of them. Izuku was making sure to watch out for some of the kids. Of course, he's not that reckless, but if a kid did get caught in his attack, he'd kill them instantly. And he tried to do his best to save a couple of people from robots that looks like they was in serious danger. So he'd do his best to save people as well. Izuku would then go on to say, "Hey, announcer guy, can this be over, please? This is boring," as he said it in his head, not wanting to distract everybody else. Then all of a sudden, he feels the ground shaking. Deku said, "Huh, that might be interesting." As then he sees a giant zero pointer. Deku says, "Yes, yes. If this isn't strong enough, then I don't know what is." As then all of a sudden he hears a scream, and he said, "That'll have to wait first." Izuku fly down towards Uraka, picking the rubble off of her, getting her somewhere getting her far away from the robot. Uraka would thank him, as Izuku would heal her ankle. Deku said, "Don't worry about it. Just watch out next time." As Zuko would then get bigger and bigger, Izuku would then turn into the size of a robot, but in this time he turned into a dragon. Izuku grabbed onto the robot's shoulder, biting off its head and tearing it apart. Izuku was going to say, that was too easy. Wasn't it supposed to be the biggest, baddest zero pointer ever?" All the teachers that are watching are in shock. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. That kid just took down a zero pointer with such ease. Something that they only see All Might do. Well, not what they see All Might do, but basically how easy it would have been for All Might. And basically, they end the entrance exam and all that. I'm going to be ending the video off here today, guys. Like, subscribe if you want a part 2 to this, say so. If you want me to redo it, say so. If you want me to take a couple of things out or add a couple of things in, say so. But like I said before, like, subscribe, comment down below telling me what you want next. And I'll see you next time.